Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text 10. Kono asya kritim na shrunoti abhijano. Kono asya kritim na shrunoti abhijano. Asya kritim na shrunoti abhijano. Yad vikrama chosistam ashesha bhupaha. Yad vikrama chesam ashesha bhupaha. Lokaha sapala upajivanti kamam. Lokaha sapala upajivanti kamam. Adyapi tamim vada karma sudam. Adyapi tamim vada karma sudam. Kona asya kirtam nashnoti abhijano. Yad vikramo chistam ashesha bhupaha. Lokaha sapala upajivanti kamam. Adyapi tame vada karma sudam. Kono asya kritim narsunati abhijana. Yad vikramo chestam ashisha bhupaha. Lokaha sapala upajivanti kamam. Adyapi tame vada karma sudam. Kono asya kritim narsunati abhijano. Yad vikramo chistam ashesha bhupaha. Lokasapala upajivanti kamam. Adyapi tame vada karma sudam. Konesya kritim nashanati abhijano. Yad vikramo chistam ashesha bhupaha. Lokasapala upajivanti kamam. Adyapi tame vada karma sudam. Konosya kritim nashanati abhijano. Yad vikramo chistam ashesha bhupaha. Lokasapala upajivanti kamam. Adyapi tame vada karma sudam. Kono asya kirtim nashanoti abhijano. Yad vikramo chistam ashesha bhupaha. Lokasapala upajivanti kamam. Adyapi tanme vada karma sudam. Ka, who, nu, but, asya, King Pṛthu, kirtim, glorious activities, na shrunoti, does not hear, abhijanaha, intelligent, yet his vikrama, chivalry, uchistam, remnants, ashesha, innumerable, bhupaha, kings, lokaha, planets, sapalaha, with their demigods, upajivanti, execute, livelihood, kama, decide objects, adhyapi, up to that, tat, that, me, unto me, vada, please speak, karma, activities, suddham, auspicious. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Pṛthu Maharaja was so great in his activities and magnanimous in his methods of ruling that all the kings and demigods on the various planets still follow in his footsteps. Who is there who will not try to hear about his glorious activities? I wish to hear more and more about Pṛthu Maharaja because his activities are so pious and auspicious. Purport. Saint Vidura's purpose is hearing about Pṛthu Maharaj over and over again was to set an example for ordinary kings and executive heads. We should all be inclined to hear repeatedly about Pṛthu Maharaj's activities in order to also be to rule over their kingdoms or states very faithfully for peace and prosperity of the people in general. Unfortunately, at the present moment, no one cares to hear about Pṛthu Maharaja or to follow his footsteps. Therefore, no nation in this world is either happy or progressive in spiritual understanding, although that is the sole aim and objective of human life. Let's chant Pankajana. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Vatapata Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakarajatam Sakagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Ugnapadan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Shrite Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpataruvascha Kripa Sindhuvevach Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So take the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas assembled here. So the right words comes at the right time. So to try to understand what is this is a very important. Prabhupada says that one. Unfortunately, at the present moment, no one cares to hear about Pṛthu Maharaja or to follow his footsteps. Therefore, no nation in the world is either happy or progressive in spiritual understanding, although that is a sole aim and objective of human life. So this verse predominantly talks about the eagerness of Vidura. Just try to understand. We'll go to text 7. So where Maitreya Muni, he was like about to finish talking about King Pṛthu. In the text 7, he talks about King Pṛthu was greater than the greatest soul, was therefore worshipped by everyone. He performed many glorious activities in ruling over the surface of the world and was always magnanimous. After achieving such great success and a reputation which spread throughout the universe, he at last obtained the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Maitreya was like, he's just telling, yes, he was magnanimous, he has achieved such a reputation, he was a great successful one. So eventually he achieved the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now Vidura is like, no, don't stop, you keep explaining it. That is what his eagerness he was trying to show. So if you remember it, when the Pṛthu Maharajas came and then he's been coronated, there will be Sutas, Magadas, there will be professional reciters. They will sing about the glories of Pṛthu Maharaj. They will, in that glories, they will say that Pṛthu Maharaj will milk the mother earth, and then he'll make hundreds of horse sacrifices, and then he meet the four Kumaras. They said about so many things. Then Vidura will be inquiring more about that questions. So in that questions, Maitreya would have answered two parts of it. So far he had answered two parts of it. Why, how Mother Earth become cow, and then how he has milked the from the cow. So that's the one he answered it. Then he answered about the, we have seen so far about the with the King Indra and King Pṛthu Maharaj, how there is a conflict. Then 100 horse sacrifice he couldn't do it. We have seen so far. Now it's like after that 100, he couldn't do that 100 sacrifices, horse sacrifice. With 99 himself, the Lord got pleased, and Lord has come. So that means he was like praying benediction. The Lord was asking for a benediction. He said that I don't want any benediction. I just want to serve and hear about your glories. So Lord will be happy, and then once gone, and Pṛthu Maharaj is going back to his kingdom. So that's where the Maitreya Muni is finishing it. So, but Vidura is like reminding, no, stop here, don't stop here. I want to hear more about Pṛthu Maharaj. That's what here the important aspect of it, right? Prabhupada clearly says that in the purport. So in the last line he says, the sole aim and objective of human life is to progressive in spiritual understanding. That's the main aim, right? So Prabhupada, this is one very frequently Prabhupada writes. So he says that one, what is our root cause of all our suffering? The root cause of our suffering is we have no attraction of hearing about Krishna. Prabhupada writes it in the Srimad Bhagavatam purport. We don't have any attraction of hearing about Krishna. That's the root cause of our suffering. In Bhagavad Gita, one of the purport Prabhupada writes it, right? Eagerness to hear about God is the first qualification to be a devotee of entering into the kingdom of God. Eagerness to hear about the Lord's quality. So that's the first qualification. We all want to be a devotee in our devotional service. The first qualification we want to see is how eager we want to hear about the Krishna Katha. Right? So how do you look into this one? Right? So in we know, right, Bhagavad Gita is spoken in the war field. So they have means Pandavas and Kauravas, they all blown their conch shells, and it's about to start, the fight is about to start. It has been such a crucial situation. That time Arjuna say, Senayor Madhya Rupe, Pratham Stapita Arjuna, take my chariot and then stop in between both the one. I just want to see who are they one. So then we know that Bhagavad Gita started, and it's a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. In that one time, maybe in 10th chapter, right? So he said that one. So Arjuna will ask is, Krishna, I want to hear more about your glories. So please tell me in your detail. So and then it's never saturated. I want to hear more and more. Oh Janardana, please describe again in detail about your one. That's what I was questioning. If you look at one, it is such a crucial time in it's a big war, which is the universe which never has seen is going to happen. So in that time, Arjuna is like, okay, come, let's discuss it. What he wants to hear about and talk about it. He wants to hear more about the glories of the Krishna. That's what he wants to hear it. He didn't want to hear anything else. So even if you look at one, when you're reading Bhagavad Gita, in the 11th chapter, Krishna says that one, you act as my instrument. Ideally, if Arjuna's intention is just to fight, he should have just started fighting it. When in the 11th chapter Krishna says, Nimitta matram bhavasachasti. So that means you act as an instrument. I already killed them, you act as an instrument. So he could have just simply took a weapon and then fight it. It's not the one. Intention is, it's not about what we are doing things. It's like what's the right thing to do it. That's what the Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Right? So that's a very important. We have to keep hearing it. Hearing is what, that's what the right? Shravanam is the first qualification of one we have the sadhana. So even in, means Krishna says about his devotees. So who is their devotees? What they will be doing it. So Krishna has given the job description of the devotees. So he says that Machita Matkarna Prana Bodhiyante Paraspratam Katyancha Chama Nitya Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. He says that one, their symptoms is very simple. You can find it out who are one. They just keep on, Prabhupada writes one, 24 hours daily they engage in glorifying the qualities and pastime of the Krishna. So Prabhupada says that 24 hours their job is only glorifying qualities of the pastimes of Supreme Personality Godhead. That's all. And then that they take as a pleasure, Ramayanti Cha, in discussing with other devotees. So their part is like they keep discussing and then associating with that one. Right? So that's the one. So if you look at here in the purport, again Prabhupada is telling it, right? So that's a Vidura's purpose in hearing our Pṛthu Maharaj over and over. The very important thing is here, over and over. So he's telling, I wish to hear more and more about Pṛthu Maharaj. It's like a eagerness. He has so much eager about hearing the Krishna Katha. Right? So Jiva Goswami says very beautifully, he gives the analogy, our mind is like a snake. Maybe if you have seen a snake doesn't go straight. It will always take a zigzag kind of one. So he says that our mind is also moving like a snake. It's like right, left. It's like accepting, rejecting, and then it just takes and go on. So only if you want to control our mind, the only way is to hear the Krishna Katha, which is what is like Krishna Katha is nothing but the flute of the song that will charm our mind. Right? Few verses back, means King Pṛthu Maharaj also says that, right? We'll smell your lotus, the dust from your lotus field, the saffron particles. How he smells? He smells from the devotees who sing the glories of the Krishna. He doesn't hear the katha, he smells the lotus feet of the Lord. Right? So that's a very important aspect of the hearing. Hearing is such a very important, that's what it's going to help. So this is Mahaprabhu's one of the favorite quote from Srimad Bhagavatam that he will say, and then it is been quoted by Prabhupada also a few times. So we all know that Brahma Viham Lina in the Brahma prayers. One is very popular, we always talk about the Tatyanukampam. There is one more sloka where it's quoted multiple times. It's also in the 10th canto, 14th chapter. So it's like this one, Jnane Prayasam Udapasya Namanteva Jivanti San Mukartam Bhavadeyavartam Sthane Sitaha Shruti Gamtam Tan Manu Bir Ye Prayasa Jito Apitas Trilokam. So he means Brahma says that one. He says that one, you no need to change any situation, you no need to change your ashram, whatever the ashram you are there, you be there. You no need to change anything. It's like he's just saying that one. You throw away all the speculative knowledge or anything. He's just telling in your Tanu, Vanu, Van, Mano. It's like body, words, mind, all respect. Just hear. You put everything and hear about the Krishna Katha. That's the only thing. Certainly this is the one we can conquer your lordship. Otherwise you are unconquerable. So Brahma says that one. It's a very simple. He says that one. You always hear about Krishna, you will go back home, back to Godhead. You no need to do anything else. It's like you no need to do any austerity or any penance, tapasya, nothing is required. He just says that, he says the only qualification or only the thing is enough, good enough is just hearing about the Krishna. Right? So Gaur Govind Samaraj quotes this verse quite often, and then he always reminds us our parampara is predominantly like it's our disciplic session is like it's a hearing process. We hear from that. Our disciplic process is a hearing process. It's like a siksha parampara. It's a very important thing is hearing it. So what we hear from Prabhupada, what we hear from our spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, all that one, it's a very hearing. That's what it's how we differ from other Mayavada or other philosophy, right? In Mayavadis, they just speculate or they just take the Vedanta and then read it. But in our perspective, it's a very simple. We just hear from what our Guru Parampara has said. That's what we just follow it. That's a whole very important. Even what Brahma has said, that's what even every one of our parampara. I mean, Gaur Govind Samaraj says that one, our parampara is Strota parampara. It's like a hearing parampara, nothing else. It's just you hear. So that's what he's just say that one. So right, it means it's very simple. If you looked at Parshit Maharaj, what he has done, he just heard, nothing else. He just heard for his 7 days, the last 7 days, he achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's a very important things to understand. Right? So when you're talking about Parshit Maharaj, it's a very beautiful he talks about in 10th canto, when Sukadeva Goswami started talking about the Krishna's appearance and then one. He says that one. That's a very important. I'll just read that verse. So King Parshit said, "My Lord Sukadeva Goswami, all the various activities executed by incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead are certainly pleasing to the ear and to the mind. Simply one hearing this activity, the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanish. Generally, we are reluctant to hear about the activities of the Lord. But Krishna's childhood activities are so attractive that they are automatically pleasing to the mind and ear. Thus, one's attachment of hearing about material things, which is root cause of material existence, vanishes. One gradually develops devotional service to the Supreme Lord, attachment for Him. Friendship with the devotees gives us a contribution to Krishna consciousness. If you think it fit, that's a very important. If you think it fit, kindly speak about the activities of the Lord." Here Parshit Maharaj, it is in last days, it's in the 10th canto, maybe living a 1 or 2 days, that's all. He is playing himself as such a humble one. If you think fit, speak about the activities of the Lord. Right? So in that verse, there are 5 things Parshit Maharaj is telling about the hearing. There are 2 things will disappear and 3 things will achieve it. So what are the 2 things will disappear is, we will lost our taste for hearing or something about the mundane stuff, right? Many of us, when we started taking a bhakti practice, we stopped, gradually reduce singing about some cinema songs or the music which we used to like it most, we hardly don't hear anymore. And then we also, it's like when in a working situation or thing, we just have to talk something we want to talk, otherwise we just don't hear. That's the one thing. And second thing is, gradually all our material desires also slowly it's reduced. Even if you look at people like me, very early in days in Krishna consciousness also, can see there are certain level it has been drastic reduction in our desires what we have it in the material. So these are 2 things which is automatically will go away just by started hearing, nothing else. And Parshit Maharaj says there are 3 things we will get it. One is it, we get the sattvam, purity. We no need to do so much any austerity to get any purity. Purity is automatically we will get it by hearing Krishna Katha, right? That's what the Cheto Darpana Marjanam. The first quality is like, it's like Cheto Darpana Marjanam. It's like you've been cleansed, you've been washed away from all our dirty stuffs in our mind, desires. Right? That's the one thing. And what he says that by keep hearing, we'll hearing about the bhakti. So we'll get the bhakti about the Lord. Right? That's the one. Then the last one, very beautifully Parshit Maharaj says, you will get the friendship of the devotees. Right? Even if we look at one, means before following Krishna consciousness, we have so many friends, but now if you look at the amount of friends what we have is maybe it have increased, but we have more and more of devotee as a friends. All the non-devotee friendship is still we may have to some extent, but it's not like our heart is not there. That's a very important one. If you look at for the science of progressing, that's our there is a one beautiful story Prabhupada writes it in the journey of self-discovery. So there was a one Srimad Bhagavatam recitation was going on. There is a one thief. He will be attending and hearing about one. So the reciter will be saying that one. So in Vrindavan there is a one boy is there. He is a very beautiful boy. He has so much of ornament in him. So he talks about his what type of ornament he wears, how he looks and everything. The thief was like, oh, I need to go to Vrindavan, so I can catch that boy, and then from him I can take all the jewels, so I can become a rich. So he was just always thinking about that boy in the Vrindavan. So I had to go to Vrindavan, I had to get that boy, and then I had to see what the jewels he is wearing it. I need to get all these things so I can become a millionaire. So such a cute boy, he do it. Then the thief decided, okay, I'm going one day, decided he goes to Vrindavan. So then Vrindavan he goes, and then he just, since he was keep on meditating about that blue boy, so he meets the blue boy. He was telling, you are such a nice boy. And then he just started flattering to that boy. Then he says that one, you give me, I'll take this ornament or something. Then he said that no, my mother will be angry, I cannot give. It's like our one going on. After few kind of time, then Krishna gives that his jewels to him. He said that no, I don't want. Prabhupada says that one, it's like we just have a Krishna in that one, we automatically get purified having a Krishna. That thief is just was here just meditating about that. His intention was what? To thief, to get from the ornament from the Krishna. He was just meditating about the Krishna. Whatever our intention, if we just have a Krishna is in our thoughts, that itself will purify. That's a Prabhupada's quote from the, that's a Prabhupada story writes in the journey of self-discovery. So in this one, there is a one more story, right? In Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada is one of the disciples. So he used to work so somewhere, and then but he is always wants to hear Krishna Katha. So he always comes to here to Ultatanga building to hear when he finishes office. He was working in the post office. He'll finish and then he'll come fast to hear from the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So one day what happened, when his shoes were wearing it, there was a scorpion was there that has bite, but he couldn't want to stop it hearing the Krishna Katha. So it has bite. He just came and then sat in the class. He's having so much of pain, but he couldn't feel the pain at all. He was doing it. Maharaj could, Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Maharaj can see what's happening it. He see that his face is something and all one. Then even after class finish, he asked it, what happened? He says that one, I had a scorpion has bite me. He was telling it. That time Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada says very beautifully, right? So when you hear about Krishna Katha, anything is like we will not feel the pain, right? We have so much of anxiety or depression will have it, but when you go for any service, talk about Krishna and everything, within that 1 hour or 2 hours, we will not have any other thoughts. That's how we will do it, right? So that's a very importance of the hearing, right? So Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj very beautifully writes in his reflections. He has a reflection books. So he said that we can look at our we all want to be humble, humility, right? He says that one, the barometer is very simple. Humility gives that eagerness to learn. If you have a eagerness to hear, the only thing is that means we have the humility in the one. If you don't have a humility, we will not hear. The only thing is, So one Maharaj was telling it, it's like we just look at, okay, today I'll not hear from this one, okay, I can park it, I'll hear from particular person or not. But the only thing is, here we are hearing about Krishna, so that's a very important, we need to do it. So that's what Prabhupada is always very emphasize lots on hearing Bhagavatam from the class. So it doesn't matter is like Toshin Krishna Prabhu was mentioning last class, right? It doesn't matter whether he's a very junior or young, but Prabhupada himself is sitting the class and they hear it. So one time in the Mayapur, Prabhupada was giving the classes. Some of his devotees, they are just going for some services. Prabhupada was telling, stop, where you are going. He asked it where they are going. They are busy with some, then he said, oh, they are busy with other work. Prabhupada called that as a ugra karma. So he says, that Prabhupada says, so if we can't have a attraction to hear, then slowly our other stuff will go away. That's what the Prabhupada want. This is in the Prabhupada says in the Mayapur during one of the Bhagavatam class. Right? So that's a very important thing, we need to understand it. So I'll tell you once, it's a very big story, so I'll just tell a very small about King Kulashekara Alvar. So Kulashekara Alvar is from, I don't know if you know South India, current day Kerala. So there is a Padmanabha Swami, it's a very big Narayan deity will be there. It's such a very beautiful temple. So that is being owned by, means they are this King Kulashekara Alvar, their family, they worship them. So they are the king, but what their mood is like, the owner is Padmanabha Swami, we are just servant, we are just ministers of his the king. So long story short, their King Kulashekara Alvar, their parents before he born, they didn't have a child for a long time. They keep praying to the Padmanabha Swami. Right? So they just pray. What did they pray? Give us a son who could rule your kingdom. So this is your king, give us a son to rule your kingdom. And then the second aspect beautiful of their prayer is lead everyone on the path of Krishna Bhakti. So that's what they ask for a son. They get the King Kulashekara. So King Kulashekara was a very successful king, because how do you call it? The South India has a 3 parts, Chera dynasty, Chola, Pandya. He won all the dynasty. So that means whole South India he's been the king. 3 dynasty he won, and then he's been the ruling. He's been such a successful person, but he started thinking, oh, what I'm doing it. I have everything, but I am feeling it, I have nothing. So that's what he started feeling it. So then he has developed a very much taste about Ranganatha from the Srirangam. So he has developed such a taste, he wants to give away his kingdom, wants to go to Srirangam to see that one. So he was just always trying to run away, they don't know what to do. So what happened, the ministers and all, oh, if he goes, what will happen to the kingdom? So they always bring someone from, saying that he's come from Srirangam, then with some prasadam, then King Kulashekara will get super happy, excited getting that prasadam, and then he'll hear more about them. So this was keep happening it, then they don't know what to do. Then he decided, okay, to keep king and the kingdom, the easiest option is start telling about the Katha, Krishna Katha, then he'll just attracted it. So what happened? They started reciting Ramayana to him. So he'll start reciting, means when he started hearing Ramayana, he sees that he himself in the Ramayana acting present. So one time what happened? We know that Supernaka, Lord Lakshmana has cut his nose, Supernaka. When he heard that one, and then Supernaka is bringing a big army to fight. When Kulashekara Alvar hear it, oh, I need to go and help Lord Ram. Lord Ram is now, they are coming so much Asuras. He started making all his army and then started going to fight. They said that ministers don't know what to do. So then they said, one person is coming, run away. We heard from that already Lord Ramchandra single-handedly won king, we no need to go. Then he relaxed. Then they said that, okay, it's a very hard with this way it goes. Then said, the reciters will tell, the condition is don't tell anything which is from the Ramayana section, any sad part. Tell only all the happy parts of the story. So what happened one day, there is a new reciter has come. He started talking about the um, Ravanan kidnapping Sitama. So he couldn't tolerate it. So when King Pṛthu couldn't tolerate at all. So he was like, I have to go to now Lanka. So he says that one. They goes to Rameshwaram and then he just started to enter into that one. Then the Lord himself says, and Sitama comes and says, yes, now I have rescued. Now Ravana has been killed. You don't worry. So that's a one. It's a very important one. What it's trying to, the whole thing is, King Pṛthu, he's hearing Ramayana is something. He was living in the Ramayana world. That's the only thing. That's how we just have to keep hearing. Okay, it's a very big story. The very important aspect of it, he used to hear. There is one very important thing we need to understand. What is Kulashekar Alvar has found it? Worshipping a saint, worshipping a pure saint, in a one day gets how we are going to the temple and worshipping the Supreme Lord for 60,000 years. If you have opportunity to worship a pure saint for a one day, which is as same as worshipping the Supreme Lord for 60,000 years. So that's how we just had a one. So that's a very important one. The important thing is we need to have a eagerness to hear. That's what will mean. So this is what the last text 9 and 10 from the Vidura. It shows the eagerness of hearing. That's the one. And then once we have the eagerness of hearing only, will make us to progress in our bhakti. That's the one. That's what Prabhupada, again I'll read that one. It's a very beautiful one. Unfortunately, at the present moment, no one cares to hear about Pṛthu Maharaja or follow in his footsteps. Therefore, no nation in the world is either happy or progressive in spiritual understanding, although that's a sole aim and objective of human life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments, correction? Sri Radha Bhagwan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sorry. So what I heard is some people, in their work also, they'll not necessary, we may not have a concentrated rapt attention of hearing aid, but some people they'll have one and then keep going on hearing it, they'll have it. Of course, if need if our work needs is kind of a talking and rapt attention, it's very hard to do. That's the one I see the people do it one, and I also been told to do that one. You just put your earpods whenever you can do it, you can just do that one. That's the one thing. And other things which I have been told is, you have a dedicated at least certain time. Maybe it's like a pill, right? Maybe it's like a medicine. You have a certain time, you have mandatory, I'm going to hear it. It's like in a day, 30 minutes or 1 hour. It depends on how much you can give it. You have to do that one. Then it's like a sadhana sheet or something, you have it. Then you know that sometimes even though we don't have a time, we'll find it out, yes, I want to do it, right? So that creates our practice and will help you to keep doing it. So this is what two things which I have been told, which I am trying to follow. This is what